This short video is for those who have got particularly tight hips, so pain or stiffness in your hips, which usually shows up when you're sitting cross-legged on the floor. Your legs look kind of like this, and they just feel like they won't go anywhere, is one possibility. The other way that this shows up is people who, well, all of us sit in chairs a lot during the day, and so the way this shows up in the inside of the hips as opposed to the outside is the pelvis will look kind of like this, which happens obviously from sitting in chairs a lot, and can also sit the other way, which is like this, as opposed to a neutral position where the pelvis is neither tipped backwards nor forwards. So we'll do a couple of things in this sequence to address tightness in the inside of the hips, which can be a problem as well. So one other thing just to bear in mind with this series of hip exercises is not to feel like more is better. In other words, don't think that going further is going to help you more. Remember to work with a sense of ease and not to force or push too much. This is really about activating muscles to get blood moving into the area in order to bring health to the joint. So it's never really a case of further is better. If you just follow my instructions and work with these exercises regularly, you'll find that things begin to improve and a little more space comes to the joint. So let's start with lying on the back. You can take a block like this for your head, and a couple of options. Either a ball like this, which is a little squishy ball that has a valve in it with some prickles known as a massage ball, or you can take a slightly harder ball, which is like something you find at a toy store or a dollar store. And you're going to lie on your back, take the ball under the fleshy part of the buttocks, so just find that fleshy place just on the outside of the buttock, and then you're going to take the same leg and let the knee drop out to the side. So if your knee is still very much in the air, what I would suggest is take your block and support your leg a little bit like this, so that you don't feel like you're holding your leg in the air. So you want to feel like you can really let go in that leg. So you've got the ball under the buttock and the leg dropping out to the side, front ribs relaxing, breathing into the belly. And just take a moment to pause there. So if you're following along with this video, at this point you could just pause the video and stay in this position for 2 or 3 minutes. And then once 2 or 3 minutes is up, then we'll switch to the other side. And then reversing the ball to the other side, placing the ball under the right buttock and letting the right knee drop out to the side. You'll see my left foot is still on the floor. Take a little bit of support under the right leg. So depending on what's happening in your leg, you may have to take a little more support. You may need some pillows and a block, but you want to feel like you're really supporting that leg, not letting it just hang in midair. So same thing at this point, just press pause on the video and stay like this for 2 or 3 minutes, all the time working with relaxing and letting go and unclenching that buttock as the ball presses up into it. Coming back from there. So then you're going to take your two balls and we're going to place them on both buttocks and just on either side of your sacrum, which is the triangular bone at the end of the spine. So we're still on the fleshy part of the buttock. So you can perhaps remove the height from under your head. And then a couple of options here, either stay with the feet on the floor if that feels quite intense for you, or lift up the knees, place the hands on the knees. So the knees are directly above the hips. And then just lean side to side a little to release any tension in the buttocks. You'll see I'm going very slowly to one side and very slowly to the other side. So the placement of the balls for this one is about midway along the side of the sacrum. So you've got your tailbone slightly up from the tailbone and on either side. Take a small breath from there into the belly, feet onto the floor, lift up the hips and move the balls a little bit higher now. So just slightly out to the side and slightly higher up. Same thing, if this is intense for you, then just stay with your feet on the floor. If it feels okay, then put your hands on your knees directly above the hips, and then gently lean to one side, and gently lean to the other side, and keep doing that a few times back and forth. So again, you may choose to pause the video at this point and just stay in this position for 3 or 4 minutes in order that you can let go of any tensing or clenching in the buttocks. Then removing the balls from there. Then we'll take one leg and cross it over the other. So in this case, left leg crossed over right. And we're simply going to stay like that. You're going to squeeze your left buttock, relax it, squeeze it, relax it. One more time, squeeze and relax. Stay like that if that feels a lot already, or lift up both legs, hold either behind the right thigh or in front of the right shin. If you find that your chin is lifting like this, then you need to take some extra height under the head. Take a small breath into the belly and release down. Cross right leg over left, squeeze the right buttock, relax, squeeze the right buttock, relax, squeeze the right buttock, relax, stay like that, or slowly lift up both legs, hold behind the left thigh or in front of the left shin. Take a small breath into the belly. And release. For a moment, just pause, take the feet slightly wider than the hips, and let the knees rest in toward one another. Lengthen the tailbone away from you, and just allow the lower back to release into the floor, into what's known as the constructive rest position. Then we're going to take the block out from under the head, and you're going to take maybe a slightly thicker block. You can use a thick book if you don't have one of these blocks, and you're going to place the block under the pelvis, like this. Then hold both knees for a moment to release the lower back. Slowly take your left leg down, and you'll notice my left knee is not completely straight. Watch that your left knee is not rolling out to the side. So keep the left kneecap facing up to the ceiling. Keep holding the right knee. And then in this position, we're going to squeeze the left buttock. Relax. Squeeze the left buttock. Relax. One more time. Squeeze the left buttock. Relax. Take the left arm up beside the head. Press the left heel into the floor. And then make the left heel light, so slightly light, as if you're about to lift it off the floor, but you're not actually lifting it. Take a small breath into the tummy. And then hold both knees. Release the back. Take the right leg down. Right heel onto the floor. Again, watch that right knee is not completely locked and that your right kneecap is not rolling out to the side. So keep the kneecap facing up to the ceiling. Squeeze the right buttock. Relax. Squeeze the right buttock. Relax. One more time. Squeeze the right buttock. Relax. Take the right arm up next to the side of the head. Press the right heel down for a moment. Some of you will find that right knee wants to collapse. So try and keep the right knee just a little bit bent. It'll be more effective in opening the hip. Finally, make the right heel light as if you're about to lift the heel. Take a small breath into the belly. Release. Bring both knees in toward the chest. And place the feet onto the floor. Remove the block from under the hips. Back to the same position we were in before. Feet slightly apart, knees together. Drop the front ribs, relax the belly, take some breaths into the belly. And then we'll do a few leg swings from this position. So turn onto your side. So in this case, your left side. And you're going to bend your right knee. And you're going to lift the lower leg diagonally toward the opposite shoulder. So just nice and easily, gently, lean back a little bit with the ribs. And then bend both knees, feet together, rest your head down. Place the right hand onto the right hip so that the pelvis stays still. And lift just your top knee. So you're trying not to let the pelvis roll back, and you're just lifting the top knee. So even if you're only lifting a tiny amount, like this much, that's fine. It doesn't matter how far you go. Just try to isolate the movement to the leg. Little toe of the bottom foot down. Lift the top leg so the kneecap is facing toward your head. So the whole time my kneecap faces this way. What some of you will find is that as you lower the thigh wants to turn in. So try to keep that thigh turned out the whole time. Nice. Turning onto your right side. Same thing. Bend your left knee behind you. Support your head with your hand. Lift the lower leg diagonally toward the opposite shoulder. So you don't need to be rigid for this. You're staying within a sense of ease in order that you're not adding tension to the body. Feet together and left hand onto the left hip. Keep the hip still and lift just the top leg, the clamshell, this is sometimes known as. So your top leg is lifting up and down. Without the pelvis rolling back. Hook the little toe of the bottom leg down and lift the top leg up and down, kneecap facing toward your head. Thigh turned out, even on the way down. Like I said earlier, some of you will find that thigh wants to turn in on the way down. See if you can keep it turned out, even if you're just lifting the leg a little bit like this. You will find that it will still help to release the hip more. And coming back from there. So then take a little bit of height under the head again, because those of you with tightness in the hips, you're probably going to find your chin wants to lift. So put a block under the head, and you'll see that I've got the outside edge of my feet on the floor and the thighs are parallel to each other. So not like this, not with the knees out wide. Bring the feet close in so that your thighs are parallel. Even if your knees are high up in the air, that doesn't matter. Bring the top of the pelvis back. So you'll notice there may be a big gap under your lower back, so you're going to try and tip the pelvis back. And then take a small breath into the belly. You're going to take both arms up, tips of the thumbs together, slowly take the arms back. Keep the pelvis tipped back. Inhale into the belly. Exhale, reach back into the fingertips. Release. Change the cross of the legs, so other shin goes in front. Again, tip your pelvis back. Thighs are more or less parallel to each other. Tips of the thumbs together. Slowly take the arms back. Take a breath into the belly. And exhale, reach back into the fingertips. Come back from there. Finally, last one, you're going to sit on some height. So, depending on what's happening in your legs, I would suggest taking one block or even 2 blocks and a pillow. You could take a blanket as well. So you could set yourself up something like this. If you have a blanket, you could make a bit of height with the blanket and make a bit of extra height, and then put your blanket on top of the block. You might even need more height than that, so you'll have to see. So I'm saying something like this, where you're sitting tall, that your hips are in line with your knees. Again, outer edge of the feet down, thighs parallel to each other. So let's say we're something like that. You're going to squeeze the buttocks and inhale. Exhale, relax the buttocks. And as you exhale, let your trunk come a little bit forward. Squeeze the buttocks. Inhale into the belly. Relax the buttocks. Exhale, come a little forward. Squeeze the buttocks. Inhale. Relax the buttocks. Exhale, come a little forward. One more time. Squeeze the buttocks. Inhale. Relax the buttocks. Exhale, come a little further forward. Come back up. Change the cross of the legs. Make sure that your height is all working for you. So you're on the outer edge of the feet again. Thighs parallel to each other. Squeeze the buttocks. Inhale into the belly. Relax the buttocks. Exhale, come forward. Squeeze the buttocks. Inhale. Relax the buttocks. Exhale, a little further forward. Squeeze the buttocks. Inhale. Relax the buttocks. Exhale. One more time. Squeeze the buttocks. Inhale. Relax. Exhale. Come a little further forward. Slowly coming up from there. And then just rest a moment after that. So it's important while doing these exercises and this series of exercises not to force things too much, and you don't want to be feeling a lot of feeling of stretch. Actually, we seem to have got into this habit of looking for stretch, but in fact stretch is the precursor to injury. So if you're feeling an extreme amount of stretch, that's not a good thing. You want to be doing the exercises to that point just before you feel a lot of sensation of stretch. So stay within ease, don't force too much, and try to do them regularly, and you'll find that more space comes to the body, more ease, and you'll get to feel what is enough. So thank you for joining, and namaste.